Been in the Melrose District reporting on crime a lot over the past few months, and we're back tonight after this brazen daytime robbery. Now, residents say police and city officials have to do something more before someone gets hurt worse than what we just saw this week.
Nothing's been done, and it is getting worse. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Joan Fitzpatrick has lived in the Melrose District for 20 years and says crime is so bad in her neighborhood, residents are getting used to seeing things like this. Police with guns drawn arresting criminals.
Scary, really scary.
This incident happened last week, and this violent robbery happened in her neighborhood in broad daylight, Monday afternoon in the 7400 block of Waring Avenue. A tourist is seen on security cameras walking down the street while two men start moving faster to keep up with him. Another man in a red sweatshirt shows up, and moments later, the two men start to run, catching the victim, attacking him from the back as another suspect runs in front of him. A man driving by in a truck sees the crime in progress and stops to try and help. When he can't verbally stop the attack, he goes back to his truck and gets a machete to scare the men off, but not before they took the victim's wallet and Rolex.
The criminals are coming on Melrose, and they're seeing all these people with money and pretty watches and rings and what have you, and they follow them. When I walk my dogs around here, I won't wear rings nor earrings.
This video is from a home on Curson last week where squatters are seen leaving. Local crime watch group Melrose Action says there have been 9 robberies in the Melrose District in the last 30 days, but Councilman Paul Koretz, who serves this district, says residents along Melrose Avenue are exaggerating the increase in crime.
Aggravated assaults are down. Homicides were at 0. Last year we were at 0. For the most part, you couldn't do much better in what we're doing in terms of crime reduction. The only area we've had the spike has been in robberies, and we're taking all the necessary steps to reduce that.
Koretz says they've increased patrols from 1 to 2 in the area. Neighbors say that's just not enough and wonder what else has to happen before city leaders will take more action. Now, although Councilmember Koretz told me that violent crime in the area was down, he couldn't provide me with any specific data. Instead, he just referred me to the LAPD. Now, I spoke to some residents tonight who did not want to go on camera, but they say they are trying to form a committee or a group to recall Councilmember Paul Koretz. Back to you.
Now at 5:30, 4 suspects who ambushed and violently attacked tourists right in the middle of the day. Eugene Kang. Gene is right now in the Fairfax district tonight, where he's been getting reaction from both tourists and residents alike. Gene?
Good afternoon, Chuck and Colleen. Well, neighbors tell me that tourist walked out of this CVS on his way to an Airbnb rental. No idea that he was being followed by strangers. He's seen in the surveillance video from the Melrose Action Neighborhood Watch making his way north on Gardner Street to Waring Avenue, looking down at his phone, followed by 2 men in hoodies as he makes a right on the sidewalk.
4 suspects who follow him and ultimately chase him down.
Caught on 2 separate cameras, a neighborhood watch coordinator says 2 suspects stalked the victim while 2 more men move in from across the street. Neighbors say they ambushed the man, punching and tackling him in front of a home before snatching his Rolex watch and wallet. That's when a pickup driver tries to help.
A Good Samaritan jumped out of a truck, tried to scare off the perpetrators.
Pulling out a machete knife and running after the men. Neighbors say it went down at about 4:15 Monday afternoon with tourists from all over the world only a block away at the pricey Melrose shopping district.
Very cool, you know, kind of chic and hip. In some of these stores there was like, you know, shirts for like $900 and stuff like that.
We showed the surveillance video to many people, including David Wolliver, who works nearby.
Keep a second eye out or else you're going to be jumped in the corner in the middle of the day.
The Neighborhood Watch Group says they've seen a rise in robberies and other crimes recently. This tourist from Boston says she won't be walking by herself anytime soon.
I think if I was alone, I would definitely be concerned and a little bit worried, and I would be looking over my shoulder, like you said.
Neighbors say those 4 suspects were black men, about 6 feet tall, wearing dark-colored hoodies, athletic gear. They were possibly in their mid to late 20s, and police say this evening this is an unfortunate example of why people should be much more aware of their surroundings. Reporting live here in the Fairfax District, Gene Kang, NBC4 News.
This video being put out by the Melrose Action Neighborhood Watch is a call for action. And there's lots happening here with what police believe are several crews of people up to no good. First, look at this one. That's a victim in a recent incident on Gardner near Waring, being followed by 4 suspects, 2 there, a third there, and a fourth, all following a victim who's clueless of what's happening behind him as the Ford take down the one victim just before help shows up.
As you can see in the video, a Good Samaritan jumped out of a truck, tried to scare off the perpetrators. He went back to his truck and grabbed a machete knife to threaten the suspects, and he was able to lacerate one of them and started to chase 2 of them away until they all ultimately got away.
As they looked at the video, Eduardo Rivera and Jackie Lee were horrified.
Then it makes me a little bit paranoid of just being always aware now of who's around me, and yeah.
There are some 2,000 neighbors in this neighborhood watch group, and they aren't happy with what they're seeing.
Not enough safety. We want the city, our city council member and stuff, to get more involved in the community. We feel that they've been absent.
Also, I would like more police support. I would like more visibility, and just, I don't know what the answer is.
More black and whites rolling in the area.
That would be nice.
Does it scare you?
It certainly makes me a lot more cautious.
There have been police around here called out when people were unlawfully occupying a home. That was just recently. One person arrested in the video we can see, but on the other side of the house, look what another camera picked up. People fleeing from the police, looking for another place to go. And there are lots of different kinds of crimes, including things like this woman stealing a package from someone's front door.
Caught on security cameras, a tourist being stalked and attacked like prey near the busy Melrose shopping district. Well, tonight police have 1 suspect, but they're looking for several others still. KCAL 9's Tom Waite is live tonight in the Fairfax district with this video. Tom?
Yeah, Susie, the Melrose Action neighborhood group is working hard to make sure this area stays safe. Their cameras captured the victim leaving that CVS just behind me. He walked up the street when he was attacked. Melrose Action Neighborhood Watch security cameras show an unsuspecting victim walking just north of Melrose. What he doesn't know is that he's being followed. Seconds later, another camera captures the ambush. The attackers swarm the victim, hitting him and tackling him. An object is flung into the air. Not long after, a Good Samaritan in a truck stops to help. More melee ensues. The Good Samaritan grabs something from his truck and chases off the attackers.
It's pretty shocking, yeah, and it's pretty unusual.
Neighbors say the area is generally pretty safe, but there are issues with crime.
For the most part, you can walk around the neighborhood and I've never felt in danger.
According to Melrose Action, the victim was a tourist staying at a neighborhood Airbnb when he was attacked here on Waring. Police tell us they have arrested a juvenile in connection with the incident. Tourists in the area say they won't let what happened here scare them.
From what I felt out here, I felt pretty safe and comfortable around here, so it is kind of surprising, especially that it happened right up the road.
And as you saw in that video, there were several attackers. Some of them remain on the loose.
Mark and Michelle, that attack happened on Waring Street behind me in the middle of the day. Neighbors are now organizing on their own, and they're demanding that city leaders take action. Surveillance cameras rolling as a crew of suspects stalk its target. An unsuspecting tourist staying at a nearby Airbnb attacked near Melrose Avenue. Police say 4 men jumped the tourist, stole his valuables, and got away. People who live in the area are at a loss.
We're furious. We're furious because we feel like we're not being heard, and these types of instances are just escalating, and not only in the amount of violence that's being perpetrated on victims, but also just the number of violent crimes are rising.
Nina Todd says in the past year she's noticed a staggering increase in crimes just like this. But the councilman who represents the area, Paul Koretz, says the city and LAPD is aggressively handling the issue.
It's, I would say, an exaggeration to say otherwise. Aggravated assaults are down. Homicides were at 0. Last year we were at 0. For the most part, you couldn't do much better in what we're doing in terms of crime reduction.
But the LAPD says the Melrose Avenue Business District has been dealing with a recent rash of robberies. And Todd says many people who live around Melrose are scared to go outside.
I believe that there are many crimes that aren't reported that occur every day. If Councilman Koretz took the time to go on Nextdoor and see what neighbors are speaking about and the instances that are occurring every day, I think he'd have a very different opinion.
Meanwhile, the man in this video lost a Rolex watch, his passport, and wallet. While he wasn't taken to the hospital, police say he was beaten up. And despite efforts from witnesses stepping in, the suspects are still on the run. And Mark and Michelle neighbors are planning a meeting next week. It's where they plan to confront City Council member Paul Koretz and talk to police about what they can do as a community.
8095, 450, correction, a female mental, 1508 South Worcester, and the upstairs duplex. Code 2 incident 5401 RD 859. 895, roger. 95, 450, correction, a female mental, 1508 South Worcester, and the upstairs duplex. Code 2 incident 5401 RD 859.